I'm Lucas,
And I'm Russell.
and you're listening.
You're listening to Sad Boy Podcast.
Yeah, Sad Boy.
Sad Boy Podcast. And we'll start recording. 3, 2, 1.
Wait, am I starting? We do. Welcome back to the Sad Boy Podcast. Today we have a guest on our episode. He's our friend of me and Russell, and he's known to have like a lot of hobbies.
Yes,
So-
and we've known him for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
welcome, Mr. DJ Malig.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on this podcast. I'm excited to be here. Excited to talk
Awesome.
about all these hobbies that I've had.
AKA Tetris Prodigy.
Tetris
Oh my
Prodigy.
Restaurant City, Farmville.
No, that was so long ago. Restaurant City and Farmville. Those
Yeah,
were.
me and you played literally like an hour
I'm-
before we went to school.
Oh my god, I remember those days.
I
I,
remember those
completely
days.
forgot until you brought that up.
Do
Yeah.
they even exist anymore? Actually.
No, I think they took it all down.
So, as Lucas said, gaming, Tetris, all that. Gaming is a pretty big part of my life. I mean, I started when my uncle introduced me when I was 4 years old, and
Wow.
so I started me young. I started with StarCraft, and then just kind of moved on to other games like Age of Empires. I don't know. Do you guys remember that game?
Yes, we
I don't-
do.
That's sold.
Yeah.
The freaking priest jumping into like an enemy and just, oh no. And everyone shit.
Oh, those were good times. I only
I
played with
know.
cheats back then because my
Oh, me
uncle.
too.
Yeah, my uncle was like, "Oh, here's a cheat list. Just go crazy." I'm like, "Okay,
Yo, I did too.
right."
You're like invading a player and you start sending in like cars and everything to shoot them all up.
Yes, the cars. Like back in the day, like where'd you get a like black Lamborghini out of nowhere
Yeah.
or whatever it was?
It was amazing back then.
Yeah, gaming has come a long way. But yeah, now I don't know. I'm playing. Do you guys play Smash Bros at all?
Not really.
Don't you
Only
play it
with friends.
competitively?
Kind of. I mean, I've joined a couple tournaments, but I got absolutely wrecked because like these people play for like hours a day. I'm like, I don't got time for that.
You're busy
Yeah, you
doing
need
too
to
much,
focus on your
too
other
much other hobbies.
Yes. Back to my other hobbies. Which one should we start with?
Well, okay, so I remember back then, I think the first ever hobby that I still remember was pen spinning, and I think that's how both of you met.
Yes, that's how
Yo,
I met
that-
Aaron.
Yes, as lame as it sounds, we did
We-
meet with through the love of pen spinning, and no, those
Yeah,
were
a bunch of
really good
people
times
too.
actually. Yeah,
It's weird, like, cause like when you hear pen spinning, you think, oh, that sounds lame, but then like when you see other people do it, you start going like, yo, shit, that's so cool.
It was, but now I think about it, do people even do this anymore?
it's honestly a lost art. Like the most I've seen people do is maybe like the one thumb around, the one that goes around your thumb, or like a charge. You know, the one you just kind of endlessly spin.
Yes,
two
those are
fingers.
the
Yeah.
only two I still remember.
I remember, Russell, you got into it too for a while.
I did, and then you guys were like, I think all of us grouped together and we were talking about like buying like specific pens or whatever with like the weights. Like it got very scientific about it.
Yeah, it's a whole. I'm telling you, it's a whole art. It's
Needs
a
to be
lost
like-
art.
There needs to be like center of gravity. It needs to be like this
Yeah.
heavy. Yeah, I remember those.
I couldn't ever follow along too much. I'm like, it's just a pen. I'm just gonna spin it. But then, yeah, the weight actually has a factor into it.
Yeah, it makes it a bit easier.
Physics, man.
Yeah, yo, you guys remember Bonkura?
No, I don't really.
Bonker.
I forgot about them actually.
Well, he made some big strides in the pen spinning community before he unfortunately passed. But yeah, this guy was actually my inspiration. Bonkura.
Oh,
He came out with like one or two solo videos. It's just a compilation of him like spinning pens, but this guy did some next level stuff I couldn't even imagine doing.
Oh
even
yeah, he
up till
made
now.
stuff disappear as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
the iSonic. You guys, Lucas, you remember this? No.
Yeah, I remember. I'll send you a link later, Russell. You'll
Okay.
get to see it.
Yeah.
Because I know Aaron still does a lot of pen spinning. Like I see his Instagram stories sometimes, and he's doing like daily spins.
Yo, I
With,
gotta
like,
keep
knives and everything.
the art alive.
Yeah,
I
it's
know that's true.
it's more like since people are using computers nowadays, no one's really using
The
pens.
computer spin.
Yeah, they're not gonna spin their keyboard or their mouse or anything, right?
Hey, you never know. Maybe they could.
I've seen
maybe eventually.
I've seen a guy that got famous on TikTok recently. He all he does is spin stuff like the pillow style, like
Oh,
just,
like the
or the book style.
twirling.
Yeah, you just
on
spin it
top,
on
yeah.
your. But if you're good enough at it, you can spin anything once you find the center of balance.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
it's kinda
true.
interesting,
Actually,
man.
This guy literally
That's
has
true.
like over 1 million followers on TikTok just from doing that. Like,
Should I start a TikTok for pen spinning?
you
should.
should honestly. I've seen
Revive
a
the
couple
art.
on a couple guys on TikTok that got decent traction. I tried doing it for a bit, but I'm like, yo, it's a lot, yo.
Okay.
You got too many hobbies. That's why.
Yeah.
But no, like after pen spinning, I know I think we then dived into like the whole Farmville and Restaurant City thing, and I think me and you kept trying to fight for number one every morning before we went to
Oh
school.
my god, yes. I think that
This
was
is like old
yeah.
days.
Is it like number one between your friends or like number one on Facebook?
Yeah, it was like number one between your Facebook friends. So like every morning,
Okay.
I would go on and it's like, "Yo, Aaron's number one," and then like I do my best to like beat him, and then my mom would be yelling at me to eat breakfast before I go to school. I'm like, "Hold on," and I keep like trying to play,
No
and then I would
way.
maybe beat him, but then like for some reason, I think we found a way to play it at school too. I think I don't remember. I think we did.
How? Oh
And
yeah,
then
on
you
Facebook.
somehow got back to first place again. I'm like, "Fuck."
Swearing's allowed on this podcast, right?
Yeah, swearing's allowed. We swear all the time. I told Parker we can swear.
Okay.
Our-
I don't know how
Our
PG
listeners are
13 you guys
usually like adults.
how PG you
so
guys want to keep it.
Nah, it's okay. Everyone's adult to listen to this.
All right.
If you're in
Yeah.
high
And
school and you're listening to this, don't listen to us.
It's okay.
No,
We
it's
swear
not. Like,
nowadays.
please listen to us. So
Everyone swears nowadays, man.
yeah.
But no, and I remember Aaron also had this fascination with typing speeds.
Oh, yo,
Oh,
I
yeah.
still
I don't know if you remember. It was back when we were taking a graphic design in like grade 11
Oh,
or
I
12. and me
remember.
and you-
I remember. Okay.
freaking-
Remember? Oh no, Mr. Shigelski.
Oh yeah, him too.
Yes, he is number one teacher in my. He holds a special place in my heart. Let's just say that.
I don't know why he hated me so much. So
It's-
this was like
yeah.
this is like a computer. Was it computer science or computer engineering?
But I think
teacher?
both. I don't know. Do you take both? Because I took.
I know you took both. I
Both,
took.
yeah.
I think I took computer science.
I think so. Because
Yeah.
yeah, I remember like you would come in and then you would leave because we had like back-to-back classes. He would teach them back to back.
Yeah. I took computer science. No, but the teacher really hated me. I don't know why. So I remember there was a time we were doing like a test. And I was sitting beside our other friend. His name was Andy. So basically, like I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was just like doodling whatever, and then he thought I was copying Andy the whole time. I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing with this test. Why am I even in this course?
Oh
And
my
he's still
God.
like, no, you're cheating. And I'm like, I don't even know what I'm writing at this point.
He went off. This guy went
Yeah.
off on you. I remember that.
Yeah, I was so confused.
Did he kick you out of the classroom too?
I don't remember. I just know he got really mad at me. I'm like, I don't know what you're being mad about. I don't even know what I'm doing. And like I remember like Andy, like he knew what he was doing too.
Of course, Dandy.
You, him, and who else was in there? You guys
was
like all knew
Parker
what you
in there?
guys were doing. No, Parker wasn't.
Parker didn't take that class? No.
No, I don't think he did. But you guys knew what you guys were doing. I didn't know. I was so confused. I had to like rely on you guys to help me get past the course.
Yo, we got you.
I know.
Oh man, those are really good times.
I know.
So Russell's a troublemaker back then. Well, he still is, but like
I still am a troublemaker. I think Aaron remembers when me and our other friend Hugo, we used to do like fucking high pitched noises in
Hugo,
class.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh
we would do, like,
yes. Wait,
Yeah.
I started that back in elementary school, I think.
Oh really? We continued it in high school.
Yeah, and then I think I brought it back, and then we all got on the. I must have showed it to you guys, and then you guys
Probably.
Yeah.
And then I think we had other friends who would hear it, and they'd be like, if you guys keep fucking doing this, I'm gonna punch you guys. I got so annoyed of this. So
Yo,
yes,
the
I was a maker.
yo, yeah. So it started back in I guess gonna spin on that topic. It started when I was like in grade 5 or 6, and I was at St. Justin.
Oh yeah, St.
Yeah, St.
Justin.
Justin, yeah, Martyr, and then uh I had this like old school MP3 players. Like I had a
Yeah,
really small one, and I was like, "Yo, this is so sick!" And then when I found out about that high pitched noise, I was like, "Yo, maybe I could troll a class or troll a teacher, right?" Because apparently with this high pitched noise, like older people that are older or don't have
yeah, they
that
can't hear
great
it.
hearing, they can't hear it, right? Because it's like
Yeah,
because after a while, hearing where of the high frequencies
it starts
wears down.
deteriorating and everything.
Yeah. So then I remember I would like I remember taping it to the bottom of like a desk, and and like it would be periodic beeps. So like it would just beep once, and then like for another 5 or 10 minutes, it wouldn't beep again. And you can imagine like everyone's trying to, and then it got to a point where like everyone was trying to find out where the noise is coming from. So like the whole class was like disrupted, and everyone was just looking for this one thing. And eventually, I think I got caught, but I don't remember like what happened. It was like, oh, just don't do this again, kind of thing. But yeah, I remember like that was like one of the proudest moments of trolling in my elementary school
Oh my
days.
god.
Wow.
And I'm glad we took we kept the tradition going in high school, I guess.
Of course. And then Aaron, I know you then went on to like the spray paint art.
Oh, that wasn't until a lot later, actually.
Oh
When did I
really?
start
I
that?
remember Parko bought a piece from you, I think.
Yes, yes, he did. Um,
Yeah.
I remember it was a phase when spray paint art, mainly from New York, like it just
Yeah.
went viral on the internet. I think 9gag was posting memes or like videos about it, and I was like, wait, this isn't that hard. Like like when I look at something, right, like I actually tend to break it down, and see like is it easy to learn? Like what is it, right? Like and the time commitment.
Mhm.
So like a lot of things like I find that I get into because it doesn't really need a lot of time commitment, but
Yeah.
it's good because you can always spend the time to get a lot better, right?
Yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
that's my like principle behind picking up hobbies. Because if it did take a long time, like let's say painting, like painting
Yeah.
oil canvases, like that
Yeah, that takes a long time.
people dedicate their whole lives to that, right? And I'm like, wait, I'm not ready to settle down on one hobby, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so spray paint art, it took what, like 2 minutes, and I'm like, wait, if it can be done in like maybe like 5 minutes to be reasonable, and you see them like go off, right? I'm like, okay, I could totally do this. So one summer, I just spent like $100 to buy all the spray paint, and the I think it was just Bristol board from like the startup cost wasn't that high, so I was like, I'm just gonna start it and see where it takes me. Did a few pieces and
I think you sold a
pretty
few too.
yeah, and I sold a few and gave some to my friends. I'm like, yeah, I mean, to be honest, I couldn't see it being too profitable unless you were like really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was nice, fun little hobby. I did it for a few summers because that's the only time you can spray paint. You can't
Yeah.
spray paint
Yeah.
doesn't work in the cold the same. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
I remember seeing your Instagram stories and I see you like spraying it. I'm like, yo, that shit looks so cool. And then Parko, yeah, like I bought one from him and I'm like, oh damn.
Yo, yeah, I still have a bunch of pieces. I should probably just hang them up or something. I don't know.
You should. You really should. They actually look really nice.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Okay, so I know like recently you started also like 3D printing with your brother, right?
Yeah, I did.
I bought that 3D printer. Was it expensive?
So I think it was like my brother bought it. It was basically for his capstone project. So
Yeah.
I think he split it with his group, and
Mhm.
then at the end it was like, oh, who's gonna keep it? So he decided, what, like since he was spending the most time like just playing around with it,
Uh,
then he's like, okay, I'm just gonna keep it. And then because we had it lying around in our house, it's like, oh, the possibilities are endless. You can literally 3D print anything.
you've
Um,
been having a lot of fun with it.
what's up?
You've been having a lot of fun with it, eh?
Yeah, for sure. The only downside is that it takes a long time to print bigger things because you're
Uh,
literally printing line by line, like layer by layer, right?
yeah.
So
Oh
like,
yeah, and they gotta like fill in like the empty spots on the inside too with like lots of lines, right?
yeah, you can choose like how do you want to like fill it in like 100% all the way, or do you want to like save time and material just to print like a little less, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's fun. If you guys need anything 3D printed, let me know.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, we definitely will.
yeah, I've been doing like we finally perfected like the design for the nanoliefs, or like
Oh,
we just kind of we saw the nanoliefs and we're like, oh, we can kind of make something similar. Obviously, like not trying to get copyright or anything, but it's cool little side project to do, right?
wait, those nanoleafs are those things that you hang on the wall and it's like lights up and everything, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because I see you use that with your like DJ set.
Yeah, so that was like our first prototype that turned out
Yeah.
decent, but it's not something that like we would be comfortable like mass producing kind of thing.
Well, I
But
mean,
yeah,
you could. 'Cause I think a lot of the people who do sell these things, I think they probably just source it from China, anyways. So I mean,
oh,
if you find a way to make it yourself and sell it, it could work because you're making it here and not relying on
other
someone from China to make it and you shipping it over.
yeah, that's true. I don't know. We'll
Yeah,
see. So,
yeah,
like I said, with this many hobbies, its possibilities are endless, yo.
that's true. And you have what like cutting hair too, barber.
Yeah, if you need a fresh fade, hit me up too. I started
How did you get into all of this?
well, like I said, right? Like if the startup isn't that much, like what do you call it? Barbering, like I just didn't like sitting and waiting for like for appointments, right? For cutting hair. So I'm like, I've seen other people do it themselves, and I'm like, I could totally cut my own hair. I YouTubed a few videos. By the way, YouTube is your best friend. If you want to learn anything, you just search up
Yeah, there's a
whatever it
tutorial
is,
for
and then
everything there.
Yeah.
actually, so majority of my hobbies I learned from YouTube. So if cutting hair, for example, I just watched a few videos and I'm like, okay, time to put into practice. So just started like obviously the first couple of haircuts were like not that great, but over time like I got more used to the motion, and then it became like muscle memory after cutting my own hair. That is, but once I started cutting like let's say my dad's or my brother's hair, then I had to like put a whole different like set of skills, learn a whole different set of skills, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's hard to cut your own hair. How'd you do it? Did you get
Um,
like the camera and everything to like point it to the back of your head and you're like in front of a mirror to see it?
well, actually, you all you really need is two mirrors. So one hand mirror to kind of like hold up, and then
Hmm.
you look into the back mirror. Like it's kind of like a two-way mirror, and then you look at your like let's say your washing mirror, and then you just turn around and cut your hair that way. But
Oh
obviously,
yeah,
it is a little weird. Um,
hand
and
gesture and everything, right? Like it feels a bit weird.
yeah, you're putting your hand over your head and cutting it that like it's not going to be that precise at the first few times until you get used to it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Because right now I just have my girlfriend cutting my hair. That's
Oh,
it.
nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
because
Does
I
she
tried cutting.
normally
No,
cut hair or?
the thing about her, I think she's kind of similar to you, where like she's very craftsy.
Okay.
And she just jumps onto these hobbies the moment she thinks of it.
Wow. Okay.
The only difference between you and her is that her attention or her focus on that one hobby will die out faster. So it's like today
Oh,
she'll do it, and tomorrow like she'll be doing something else.
that's true.
Yes, that her only issue is just the focusing part. But both of you are like very craftsy people.
Oh, that's cool. I guess
Yeah,
does she like paint and draw too,
she
or
actually
like?
does. She actually got like a notebook, and she's been like doodling and like drawing on the cover to make it unique and everything.
Oh no way, that's sick.
Yeah,
She should start start selling those or like get commission art.
yeah, custom notebooks, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she should really do that. But no, like
Right.
your haircut thing, like COVID affected it, didn't it? Like when the whole lockdown thing started, like were people still coming to you for haircuts?
Yeah, so people were actually coming to me more. I had to turn down more people because obviously like I'm not trying to catch COVID myself and spread it.
Yeah, for sure.
So I had to kind of limit it to people that like first family, right? And then
Yeah,
close friends. Friends that I know like don't go out and still party back
yeah,
before lockdown. So
yeah,
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 so there's that to consider because lockdown's been hard on everyone, right?
yeah,
I
Yeah.
know barbershops had to like close down a few times.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's really
But
tough on them.
yeah.
Yeah, because I know like even Parko said like you actually did really good job with like the haircut stuff. I
Oh
think he
yeah.
still goes to you quite a bit, right? For the
Yeah,
haircut.
every maybe like once every couple months or every month. I don't know. Like it's been on and off because of COVID, right? But yeah, I see him from time to time. Honestly, like the reason why I keep doing haircuts is it's not because of the money. Like I don't charge like an astronomical amount.
Yeah,
But it's more like I like connecting with people again. So like, when you come to me for a haircut, like we're gonna catch up, we're gonna like chill and talk, right? It's not like you go to a barber shop and they literally just give you a haircut, no small talk or anything, right?
those are the Asian ones I go to. You know, you just sit there and you're staring at the mirror, and they're just like cutting, and like they don't even talk to you. They'd rather just like get it done faster and do like get to another client.
Yeah, exactly. And like they do it
Yeah,
so quick too. Like sometimes like they miss some hairs, like I
Yeah.
don't know, like a good haircut takes at least half an hour, I'd say,
yeah, yeah,
from
yeah.
like
No,
yeah,
that's true.
start to finish. Yeah.
That's true. But speaking of COVID, I think now we're getting into the your biggest hobby and one that you're actually known for right now
Oh,
pretty
yes.
well. Uh, your DJ stuff.
Yes, sir.
How
Um,
DJ
like how
Malig.
yeah, DJ Malig, like how okay, what started all of this?
what started all
Your
of
whole
this?
DJ journey, like who like what influenced you to start going down this path?
So I guess I think it makes sense to give a little background
Yeah, for
before
sure.
like I actually started doing this. So music wise, like I was always like I always played the piano, so I always had music and rhythm knowledge. Um, and it was back in university. I started going out more. I broke out of my bubble after high school, and I started going to these music festivals and raves. Right, had a good time. Met a lot of cool people. So like the environment was really chill, and obviously I started getting into. I think back then it was like big room EDM, like house music, and just like pumped up music, right? Music would get you like pumped up to go uh partying, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
then um I think that's what initially started it. And then one time at like one random university house party, I see one of my friends, and he actually brings his whole setup and he's DJing for this house party, right? And to me, I'm like, wait a sec, that's so cool. So I literally chill with him the whole night, and he ends up teaching me a couple things, like just what does the buttons do and how to like transition songs, right? How to mix essentially. And obviously it was overwhelming at first, but like I saw what he was doing, and because he was just starting out too. He was like a month in maybe, um,
Oh.
but he explained it really well to me, and I was like, hey, I could totally do this. So yeah, it goes back to like the hobbies, right? Like if you can kind of envision like the bigger picture, then if you can see yourself doing it and how it's done, then I'd say go for it. That's like tips and tricks number one, I guess, of finding your
Yeah.
own hobbies.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he taught me. I bought a controller, I think the week after, and I was like, okay, fiddling around with the DJ set, and it wasn't like long till I went out to, I think it was one of my friends' birthdays, and I was like, hey, can I bring my DJ controller and like just play music at your thing? Obviously, he wouldn't say no to free DJ.
Yeah.
um, and I think yeah, that's how I got started. You did a few house parties, um, worked my way up. It's more so being a DJ is more about building personal like a presence online. So
Mhm.
social
Yeah.
media really helps with that. Um, and yeah, so once you're known, then you can start reaching out, or people will reach out to you for gigs. Obviously, at first, like your small time DJ, they might be like, "Hey, you can do this for exposure and stuff." You guys know like how it goes sometimes, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, then everything just kind of went on from there, I'd say, and I'm where I'm at now. Well,
As far as you can go with COVID right now, because
yeah.
I remember see I remember last time we spoke, you were already kind of like going to this whole social media game. Like I think you were helping some friends' pet accounts, right? I
Yeah,
remember.
helping grow accounts, just understanding, I guess, how to yeah, just how to improve social media presence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then you kind of applied that to your own DJ stuff. And I think in the beginning you were focused on transitioning songs, and I remember back then you wanted to get into music production too.
Yeah, which I still am. I think compared to DJing, music production is one of the harder ones. It's definitely by far the trickiest hobby I've picked up because it's not like spray painting. Like you can literally do it in 2 minutes, right?
Yeah,
And like when you start out, it might take like 15 minutes, 20 minutes at most. Music production takes a lifetime, to be honest. And
yeah,
yeah, like even now, I'm still trying to like there's a lot to understand to music production versus
yeah,
DJing. Like as long as you can blend songs, and you only get better by getting more creative with your transitions. But as long
yeah,
as you can mix songs, then you're technically a DJ, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, because I see like you have been doing like collabs with other DJs as well, right?
Like live
Yeah.
stream.
Oh yeah, yeah. Is that really like the actually no, it is the only way right now,
It
right?
is
Like
the only way,
for
yeah.
COVID. Do
Um,
you miss the in person stuff?
I really do. It's unfortunate to all DJs right now that like we're kind of limited to like some DJs have taken it to Twitch, try to make some money off like subscribers and cheers and stuff.
Yeah,
Some do like their own live streams,
yeah,
and like collab, and some get like tips and stuff that way. But a lot of it's just been really rough on the music industry as a whole.
yeah,
I know a couple of the clubs that I DJ at, like they've had to like close down for now. Like like the only thing they can really do is maybe serve food at the most, but
yeah,
it's a club, right? Like
yeah,
entertainment's just kind of gone down the drain right now. Um,
yeah.
even the weddings, like I know last year I've had about like 20 to 30 weddings to do for the season, and um they all got postponed and canceled because it just wasn't feasible, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who's gonna have a wedding? Like people do, but it's not ideal to have a wedding with only 10 or 15 people outside, right?
yeah. People are still freaking having weddings here in Vaughan, and then
Are
Even
they?
right now.
everyone gets COVID cases. Yeah, like
Oh
people
my.
in Vaughan are like they don't care here. They just keep doing whatever. Even traffic here in Vaughan, like I don't think they know stop signs exist. I don't think they know red lights exist. They just go for it. They don't care.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. I mean, I've had to drive to Vaughan during rush hour, but it was never how you described it, I guess. Like I used to work in Vaughan until I
Oh
started
really?
working from home.
Well,
Um,
where'd you work in Vaughan?
so I work at Mitel still, and
Mhm.
their remote office was in Concord, actually. So I had
Oh,
to,
so you're closer to like York University area, right?
yeah, just a bit north of that.
Oh, okay. I'm basically where like Wonderland is, and I think here we're getting really close to like Woodbridge and Kleinburg. So like
Oh,
I
okay, yeah.
I don't want to generalize it, but it almost feels like of the people who live here, they're mainly Europeans, and it's like they think that they're the shit, and they just literally just run through red lights like they don't care. They just keep going. It's like
Dang, that sounds
they think that
dangerous.
yeah, it is the intersection where I live. My brother's told me there's been a lot of car accidents because when you're on the left turn lane into the neighborhood,
Yeah.
you can't really see the oncoming cars, and then even
Ooh,
if you see like it's a yellow light and you're going, people will still run the red light, and then there's a lot of accidents from that.
ouch.
Yeah.
That's T-bone. Ouch. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
rough.
that's why like even like when I go to like the plazas or whatever, like people coming out of the plazas going in, like they don't really follow the rules either. They just go. They don't give a
Dang.
shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I my first car accident was actually luckily we both slowed down, but it was someone um what do you call it? Someone getting too antsy and making the left turn while I was just crossing the yellow. It was
Yeah.
like it was me and some other guy crossing the yellow. So we're like we're good, right? This guy doesn't wait for us and just makes the oncoming left turn. And luckily I was able to brake. I would have swerved, but the guy beside me, what do you call it? He was beside me, so I couldn't swerve, and the only
Yeah.
option I had was to hit the guy. Luckily, it was just like a bump, but like his, I don't know, it was unfortunate, but car accidents do happen all the time.
Was that the car you have now, or was it back then? Because I remember back then you had another car.
Yeah, it was actually um, it was my uncle's car actually, and
Huh.
yeah, but they got insurance to like take care of that and stuff, but
Yeah.
yeah, because it wasn't
Yeah.
my fault, but still, it was traumatizing, yo. If once you
It
get in
is.
a car accident, like it's like it makes you reconsider like the way you drive, right? You
Yeah.
want to get more
Yeah.
defensive and stuff.
Yeah. It's scary. Like I think 2 years ago, my car slid on the snow and it went
Oh
to a
no.
ditch and then it hit a rock.
Oh no.
So the car landed like it was like an inch away from a tree. So I was like, oh, thank God, like the airbag's nothing deployed. And then when you look at
Oh,
the outside of the car, you're like, oh, it's not that bad, man. But then when I brought it to the
okay.
shop, they're like, no, like the rock that I eventually landed on top of, that
Yeah.
ripped through the whole bottom of my car.
No,
So the
That
that's not
sucks.
cool.
radiator, coolant, like everything just got destroyed.
That sucks.
Ouch.
But it's like when you look at it from the outside, it looks fine. Like it looks like it's drivable.
Huh. Yeah, it's the
Under the hood, I'm
undercarriage,
like, oh
right?
fuck, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was horrible, man. And then ever
Dang.
since then, like during the winter, if I'm on a downhill slope and I'm stepping on the brake, I panic a little bit.
Yeah, a little
I'm like,
Yeah.
traumatized, right?
yeah, I'm still
Yeah.
traumatized from all of that.
You gotta make sure you have the snow tires, yo. Especially if you
That's the
live
thing.
in
I
Canada.
even had snow tires too.
Oh, you did? Oh, wow. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
it was
gotta.
stupid because you know how sometimes like snow plowers, they plow the lanes that are going straight, but then for some reason sometimes the lane that's going to the left or right, the snow piles up there, but no one shovels that side. So when I went onto the left turn lane, the snow was already really high to the point where my tires already lost traction the moment I got on it.
That
Oh,
sucks.
wow.
Yeah.
Dang.
Luckily, I was able to like swerve across the 3 lanes of traffic to avoid all the cars, and I went to a ditch instead.
Oh, wow.
And the funny thing is, I think I still went to eat dinner with Lucas afterwards.
Yeah, this guy was like an hour late because we knew he had an accident,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
which is
Yeah, and I'm
fine.
still like, and then they're like, "Oh, are you still coming?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. The car's crashed. It's fine. I'm coming. I'm just gonna grab another car."
Wow,
And it still showed up.
that's crazy.
But then it hit me like afterwards. I think in the moment I couldn't process it yet, but it was afterwards. Then my brain processed, and I'm like, "Oh fuck, I crashed my car."
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's more shock. Like your brain goes into shock. It's like, what did I do? Like, just doesn't even
Yeah,
think about it, right?
yeah,
I
it's
don't
it's
know.
weird. Yeah.
Lucas, have you had any car accidents?
Yeah, I did. So I was turning left and the
Hmm.
guy coming up he was signaling left, but he went straight and hit me.
Oh
Oh
no.
wow,
Yeah. So
dang.
the officer said it was my fault because I was turning anyways, even
Yeah,
though he was like signaling left. using his rock signals, but it's whatever. It was like I think it was like 4 years ago now. But yeah, my car was totaled, and
Oh man,
for like a few months, I couldn't really like turn
bring
left
your
confidently. So
yeah.
yeah,
I feel that because yeah, for me, I was like I second guessed like running not running the light, but like going through yellow lights. I was like, do I go? I'd rather stop than go now, because that was like my first accident, and
Yeah.
like I guess
yeah, that
over
happens to me too
yeah
now too.
yeah, I think over time you get used to it, like the more you drive, but it's still always in the back of your head, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. And I think it's stupid because it's always like the person that's turning left is always in the wrong.
Yeah,
yeah,
always.
Unless you have a
sucks.
dash cam to show that like this dude was fucking speeding.
It sucks. I had a
Yeah.
dash cam too that showed that he was like signaling left.
Hmm.
He even said on the report I was signaling left for the next intersection. So
Oh,
I don't know,
Oh my
man.
god.
but yeah, that's BS.
Yeah,
It's
whatever.
okay.
Oh,
I think a lot
It's
of
been
people
4
in
years now.
Toronto, drivers in Toronto are getting shittier and shittier in my opinion.
Yeah,
So Toronto, Markham, Richmond Hill, like everywhere. It's
sucks.
getting worse and worse for some reason.
It's okay. These people should be staying home now anyway. So
that's true. That is so
That's
true.
really true. Yeah, that's really true. Oh, well, back to the DJ thing, Aaron. So, what's the most memorable experience you've had DJing?
The most memorable,
Because I see like
yeah.
there's a picture that you've done like at Nathan Phillips Square, and I think that was pretty cool.
Yeah, so it's funny because that like despite so the best part about being a DJ, I'll tell you guys straight up, is really connecting with the crowd. So
yeah,
like that with COVID, that like takes away all of it, right? Like
Yeah,
you have no crowd energy to feed off. Like that's honestly why I keep DJing, is again like with even tying back like haircuts, like it's about connecting with people, right?
yeah,
yeah.
And as humans, I think that's what like we crave the most, like as introverted or extroverted as you are, like we all need human
social
connection, right?
interaction. Yeah,
Yeah. So back to being a DJ, with that gig at Nathan Phillips Square, it was really cool because like it was for this I forgot, it was like a dragon festival or something,
hmm
and they wanted a DJ, and I was DJing literally, the skating rink, right? So
yeah,
it was
Yeah.
all water, and they built like platforms leading up to the center of that body of water. So I was literally DJing on water, and I think it was wireless too. They had like a small generator to power my controller and laptop. Um, and what do you call it? It was cool. It was cool for pictures, right? I wish
That's
I had
cool.
like a professional photographer for that, but I had my girlfriend like sneak some pics from
yeah,
the side, because no one else was allowed on the actual platform.
yeah,
Okay.
Um, but then yeah, there's no crowd energy to feed off of. I was just kind of like playing off my sets. Like obviously I had people like sitting around and watching, but it was weird because the music kept cutting in and out. There's some technical difficulties, so it wasn't like as cool as it looked. Like it wasn't the like memorable by any chance, right? Like in terms of like
yeah.
feels good and energy level, right? But yeah, I'd say the most memorable would be so McMaster has I got into a lot of their formal events, right? So every faculty will just have like a formal every year to celebrate, and
Yeah.
for students to dress up and just have a good night out. Um, I think by far the best one was so McMaster has a formal for everybody, and it's called the Charity Ball, and that one has I think it's held at the Hamilton Convention Center, and I think there was when I played for it, I think there was about a couple thousand people actually. Um, and in like there's multiple rooms obviously, so there's like different performances in other rooms, but in that one room that we were DJing at, the biggest room, we had like a whole stage, visuals in the back, someone doing those visuals.
Oh
um
damn.
yeah, it was pretty
Cool.
epic, and like the sound system was amazing. And I think at like the like peak time, there was at least over 1,000 people in that one huge hall, right? And I think when we were playing like our hype routine, getting everyone like pumped up and just everyone's just dancing and jumping and having a good time, I think that was one of my like most memorable moments. Like
That sounds like a
connecting,
crazy party.
yeah,
Yeah.
connecting with like 1,000 people at a time.
Yeah.
Obviously, like I haven't DJ'd for any music festivals yet, but like I can imagine now, right? Like imagine like the whole crowd just vibing out to your music.
Yeah. That huge adrenaline boost.
Yeah, you're just kind of like up there, and like it's nice. It's honestly why I keep DJing, right?
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
Even though now I have to, DJ from the comfort of my own home, like doing live streams, but I think eventually, like I look forward again to like DJing for a live
DJing.
crowd again.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there was a point where I think you did invite me to one of your events, if I remember correctly.
I probably did. A DJ can't just be a DJ. You have to be your own promoter, your own marketer.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
probably invited you to one of my events as well.
You probably invite
Yeah.
like your whole Facebook friend list. To be
Yeah,
honest.
there's
Yeah.
times when I just select all, just see who
Yeah.
bites.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think I got the invite as well a couple
Yeah.
years ago, right? So was it
Yeah,
been a
Yeah.
couple years? Yeah.
Yeah.
probably when
Because I
actual.
remember, if I remember correctly, I think you invited me, but then I think it was like on the same day as like an event that we were holding for Subtle Asian Leftover Toronto. So I think
Yeah.
that's the reason why I didn't come or couldn't come.
Oh, I
Yeah, I
remember.
think we talked
You,
about
you,
that day.
yeah. There was a day when was it you, Russell, that invited me to come DJ at like a house party or something as
Oh
well.
yeah, I think so.
But I don't think we ever went through with that.
I think that event. Oh, I don't remember. There's been so many events
It
that
was
we've done back in
yeah, it
like
was a long time
2019.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah, because back then we had a lot more like house party stuff. So
Hmm.
as I was like, oh, it'd be cool if like you wanted to come and like DJ and everything.
Yeah,
But
for
I don't
sure.
remember what happened.
Yeah, me neither. It was a while ago, so.
No, it was a long time ago.
Hmm.
But yeah. So when you're DJing, like, is it annoying to move your whole set every time? Because you're
Um,
probably in charge of like assembling and disassembling everything, right?
Oh, so it depends, right? There's actually two kinds of DJs. So there's a club or festival DJ where actually no, maybe even three types. So let's say you're playing for those festivals like big time like DJs or big time stages.
Mhm.
Um, those DJs can actually just bring their USB and that's it.
Oh,
So you
okay.
can literally just plug your USB into whatever setup they already have and
Mhm.
DJ off that.
Yeah.
You could do that in a club too, but for the club, usually you need a lot of DJs use their laptop. So at the minimum, they need to bring their laptop and whatever wires you need to plug into the club's equipment.
Yeah.
Just because like with the festival set, like you already kind of know what you're gonna play. You only have a few songs, and it's only really for an hour.
Yeah.
But for clubs, you have to usually play for at least the whole night, I think.
Yeah.
Like maybe you switch halfway out with another DJ, but usually when you hire a club DJ, he's spinning for like 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So having a laptop allows you to kind of browse through your songs a lot easier and search for songs too a lot easier. But so I think the last kind of DJ is what I've been doing a lot more of, and it's called a mobile DJ. So a lot of mobile events, like weddings, corporate events, even like the formal parties that I host uh,
Yeah.
at McMaster, like those gigs, you have to usually bring your own controller, your whole setup, So if they don't provide speakers for you, you usually have to
Bring your
bring
own.
speakers too, and microphones, and sometimes even your own lighting. And you have to like kind of take care of all of that by yourself or have a helper, you know.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so going back to your question, for mobile gigs, like I have to bring like my whole setup usually, and that takes like anywhere from what half an hour to 45 minutes, even an hour sometimes to set up, depending on how many things you have to set up, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you
Oh,
have
so
to
it's
worry.
actually not that bad.
Yeah, it's okay, but it's a lot of work. Like imagine like lifting speakers, like heavy
Oh
speakers.
yeah, heavy as fuck.
It's a good workout. I mean, I remember getting a lot of core strength from from just doing all those gigs, all those weddings and corporate events during
Yeah.
the year.
I think I think me and Lucas, we when before COVID, right? There was those K-pop festivals happening in the rec room,
Yeah.
and I think those
Oh,
DJs were actually pretty bad.
Yeah, they weren't that great. I think only one of them was okay.
But the
Others
first
were
night we
just
went, there was an actual DJ. It was like a friend of a friend's. Like they were
yeah.
actual DJ. But I
mhm.
think after that, the few other events we went to, all they did was that they would play a K-pop song,
Yeah,
and then at the end it will just fade out, and then the next song will just fade in.
faded. And so they're basically a
That's all they
Spotify playlist.
did. Yeah, I think that was literally
So
it. I think it was just a
yeah,
Spotify playlist.
they put
Yeah.
like the song and then they walk away for like 5 minutes and come back, play the next
Yeah,
Oh,
song.
wow.
yeah, and then they synced it up with a music video in the background.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, so
I
interesting.
think they
maybe
just
they
made
didn't even
like
do it. Maybe they didn't even do it with Spotify. Maybe they just like got the music videos and just faded in and out from each other.
yeah, that's what I think they actually did.
Yeah, I
Um,
think those are the worst ones that we've seen. But the first
interesting.
one was like I think it was like you said. I think they had like a laptop. They actually had like the controllers and everything from what I remember.
Mhm. Yeah, it's. I mean, with the age of digital, like DJing, like
Mhm.
everything being digital instead of vinyl, like
Yeah,
back in the day, I think that brought a lot of like opportunity for a lot of new DJs. Like all you really need is, like maybe a few $100s to get started and your
yeah,
laptop. But um that also like leaves a lot of uh there's a lot of weed to pick out,
yeah,
like not everyone's
Yeah.
gonna be like top tier DJ.
yeah,
So like knowing me, you guys know me, right? Like anything I do, like I try to go a little above average. So I'm not
yeah,
gonna be like like bad by any means. But when I first started out, like I wasn't by any means good. But
yeah,
with practice, like things like even just reading the room, reading the crowd, just feeling the energy vibes, like that all comes with experience, right?
yeah,
Um, and I really think the whole point of being a DJ is, um, if you can. So there's two parts, I think, and one of them being kind of feel you can kind of grasp uh, what the crowd likes in terms of song choice.
mhm,
And so if you can do that at the very least, like you'll have a good time because the people will know the songs or they'll at least vibe to it, right?
yeah,
But second is actually the skill that comes in mixing, right?
yeah,
So my bottom line, like let's say if I go as a DJ, when I go to other events with a DJ, I I look for people that I look for DJs that can at least make the songs flow, right? Like it's not just like fading in one song and fading out the other.
yeah,
Sometimes it might work, right? Sometimes that's the only option you have, but
yeah,
like if you're doing it for every song transition, then like you got to put in a little more effort, I feel.
yeah, yeah,
Um, but yeah, like as long as you can. Bottom line is if you can make a song transition um, without any abrupt like noises or something. If you don't notice anything, then the DJ's done a good job or
yeah.
he's done his job, right?
Yeah, I guess it's very similar to you know how Parko used to always do those piano medleys.
Oh yes,
Maybe it
yes,
just
those are good
connects them
times.
all like really nicely,
Yeah, he does a
and
little
it's yeah,
transition
perfect.
and then yeah, man, I admire Parko's dedication for piano.
Didn't you have that dedication too? You got
So
okay. So for the listeners who don't know, Mr. DJ Malig here and Parko, who was a guest from 2 weeks ago, they used to do. They did one piano performance one time in high school.
I think one or two, maybe just one. I don't remember,
I
but
know. The one I remember was they had to move a piano on stage, and then one of you had to use the piano on the in front of the stage or something because they couldn't move both at the same time or something. And I think
oh,
you guys played. I forgot what you guys played.
we played a bunch of stuff, like whatever we knew, or we played some J Chow for sure. You know
Yeah,
that
you
piano
guys
battle.
synced up everything too. Like both of you were like, it was amazing back then that performance.
Yo, looking back on it, it was so cringy. There's
But it was
so
a
much
good
cringe in our
performance.
performance because like I was still socially awkward as hell, and like yeah, my public speaking skills were like like I always had a thing for a fear of public speaking, so like I
Yeah,
was super nervous on stage, but
yeah.
like my fingers worked though. Like I was playing piano okay
Do you
from
still
what I
play right
I try to get back in it every now and then, but like the thing, so the difference between I think Parko and me is um Parko actually started a lot later, um and he kind of like a lot of it was he liked to sit down and practice the songs, right? For me, like I started learning piano when I was 4 or 5, but I could like it might have been something with my attention span, like that's why I can't do hobbies that take a long time to
Yeah,
learn, is because like I just can't sit down for the hour and practice piano, or I'll
yeah,
get antsy, you know.
yeah. I
So
can't either. I never understood how Parko could practice for like 2 3 hours.
a day, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, and I'm
that's
like I can maybe like practice for like 15 minutes comfortably, but anything more, it's like dreadful almost, or
yeah,
I'll be itching to do something else, right?
yeah, for sure.
You know,
Yeah,
that's the difference. So I feel like that's something I could do, but again, like learning a song takes exponentially more time than it takes to like spray paint something,
yeah, that's
or
true.
just make a mini DJ mix. I don't know. Like it depends on the person, right?
Yeah, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure, for sure. Yeah. Well, I think we're close to wrapping up right now.
Yeah.
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 So essentially, the reason why Aaron is on this podcast today is mainly because for the past 2 weeks we've been talking a lot about mental health, and kind of like with the episode with Parko and us, we talked a lot about how a lot of mental health issues would be solved if people were able to find a purpose in life. Last week we talked about the movie Soul on Disney Plus, which is all about finding our purpose, our passion, our spark, and that's why we have you on today to because like we said, you have had a lot of hobbies and you still do, and that you've somehow like watching your Instagram story and everything makes me want to look for hobbies too, right? So it's like I think if people can start trying to find more hobbies in life, they'll eventually find something that they're very passionate about, and maybe it can help lessen the mental health issues happening in their lives, right? So
Mhm. Well
that's
put.
why we had you on today, and hopefully all these things can eventually help, even if it's just one person, we hope we can help them to kind of help figure out what they want to do in life, right?
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure like we still know people who are still trying to figure things out in their lives, like what to do and everything. So yeah,
I do have like one last tip
yeah,
for the listeners. So in regards to like let's say finding your hobby, a lot of people will be like, "Oh, I don't know what I'm interested in, or I don't know what to do, or how to make anything out of something that might be interesting to them." I would suggest like just trying it. Um, and like I said in earlier in the podcast, YouTube will be your best friend. Just see how other people do it, other professionals do it, what options there are. Let's say, like I'll give a quick example for DJing, right? Like I saw I look up to a lot of artists and DJs, and I just kind of see what options there. You can be a scratch DJ, like old school kind. With the vinyls, you can be a EDM DJ, you can be a mobile gig DJ. Like there's so many options in anything you do or want to pursue. So I would say just give it a shot. I would try if you have the means, invest some money into it, because good tools are everything. Even for hair cutting, like I wouldn't be cutting with like
Dollarama stuff.
Dollarama shears or scissors, right? Like you,
Yeah.
you need to have at least intermediate or like decent tools for whatever
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah.
And so throw a bit of money into it if you can. Do some research, YouTube or even forums, and just really just try it out, because a lot of people, I feel like, get stuck in the stage where it's like, oh, that looks too intimidating, or I'll never be able to do anything or be as good as that, right? But honestly, a lot of things in life just take like the work that you put in,
Yeah.
and you just kind of need to try it out. So don't be afraid to try things out. Leave you guys with that.
Yeah, I learned how to play ping pong from watching YouTube videos,
No way.
and a
That's
lot of
it.
it just takes like practice. I think I told Russell this before.
Lucas is dangerous when he plays ping pong. You know, when I played against him, he freaking kept smashing the ping pong at me.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so a lot of it comes from YouTube, and well, like most of it comes from practice, but like you learn a lot from YouTube. YouTube really helps.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Especially now when you can't. I still think the best teacher is having an actual tutor that or a sensei, if you may.
Sifu.
But a sifu,
Senpai.
yeah, to kind of guide you through it, because in that sense they can kind of a good teacher will know where you're at and how to like guide you in the right direction, like your next steps.
Yeah, for sure.
With YouTube, you kind of have to do that research yourself. So there's a ton of information out there. There's like beginner, intermediate, pro guides for whatever it is. So yeah, definitely take the time to do your research and try out those new things. Keep yourself busy, because in these times, like a lot of us are just sitting at home watching Netflix, right? And that can kind of get money. Like I take Netflix breaks sometimes just to watch shows and animes, but like you can't do that all the time, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for your wisdom, Aaron. It's been a
Anytime.
pleasure to talk to you again after like these years, 2 years maybe.
Thanks for
It's been
joining
almost
us.
a year. Yeah. So hope everyone can take something positive from this podcast and hopefully better your lives a little bit from it. So thank you everyone for listening, and goodbye.
All right. Goodbye.
Bye.
Cheers.
Thanks for listening to the Sad Boy Podcast.
Please remember to subscribe to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and have a nice day, I guess.
Yeah, stay sad or happy.
Yeah,
Sad?
happy.
Sad?
Sad
Happy?
boy.
Sad Boy Podcast.
Sad Boy Podcast. Good night.